I'm going to give a brief little introduction, and then I'm going to let you intro yourself, of course, a little bit deeper. So I am joined today with Mr. Alex Sims, and he is the owner and formulator of Alpha Supplements, right?
Correct. Yep.
Awesome. Well, I'm very excited to have you on today. Again, thank you for joining me. And go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about yourself. What got you into supplements, who you are, what your background is in fitness and supplements and things along those lines.
Yeah. So again, thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name's Alex, like Colton said. I started in the industry over 15 years ago with one of the national chains, I think, where kind of all of us started in some aspect. I started at Complete Nutrition way back
I did
in
too.
2000.
I forgot
Yeah,
about
so
that.
it's
Yeah,
it's,
I did
it's
too.
actually funny. A lot of us that I meet in the industry, whether they own stores, now own brands and stuff, all came
Yep.
from either Complete Nutrition, Total Nutrition, 5-star. So it
Yeah,
ends up being a small world in this industry for
absolutely.
sure.
No doubt.
So yeah, I mean, I just kind of got into it. Just walked into a store one day, one of the Complete Nutritions. My buddy was managing the store, and I was like, "Hey, I want to work here. Like, I've always wanted to kind of get into supplements more."
Yep.
And he hired me on the spot, and the rest is kind of history. And then it's just kind of grown from there. Um, got my franchise license with Complete Nutrition. Went out and ran a store in California. That took a wrong turn. We kind of got screwed over on that whole deal. Um, but again, it's just one of the roadblocks and challenges that I faced, and ended up going back to Complete Nutrition, ran some stores, left, and went to another company. Um, Started really kind of getting into product formulations at that company, and then eventually met my business partner now. And 2019, we started Alpha Supps. We actually started in basically the height of COVID. Our
Yeah,
first two products were Immunity X and Vitamin C.
I love it.
And
Yep.
it just kind of turned into what it is today. We just kept growing. We just really wanted to establish a brand that protects retailers, a retail exclusive brand. A lot of brands nowadays are big direct to consumer. They just try to cut out us mom and pop stores. So I have a couple of retail stores myself, and we wanted to build a brand with good quality products, great formulas that were more retail exclusive, that could protect and grow with retailers. So we have a lot of friends in the space. Like we just mentioned, like a lot of us all came from the same type of background. So we all know each other, and it's really helped us grow because they know they'll get protection from us, and then in turn they support us. And that's kind of how we've grown the brand.
Yeah,
Through
absolutely.
that avenue.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean that's one thing that I can definitely attest to, coming from the store owner side of things as well, is you guys absolutely are all for the brands, the brick and mortar stores. Y'all's price points are phenomenal. Y'all's ingredient formulations are amazing, especially for, again, adding on the price point that you guys have them at. Y'all are all for the retail stores, and that's amazing, coming from our side, because we are in a world where and I get it. I don't knock the companies that do it. I understand that there's better margins, there's easier marketing tactics whenever it comes to being direct to consumer. So I understand that side of it. But I think the supplement world, you got to take it into account what the brick and mortar stores are there for, and that's your boots on the ground. That's your front line. That's where you can get the most upfront information. And so the brands that do cut out the brick and mortar, I don't think they're taking advantage of brick and mortar the way that they should, so I think that's the flip side of it too.
Yeah,
So I definitely
absolutely.
hold, you guys at Alpha Supps in high regards, just from that aspect, that y'all do look out for the storefronts, which is huge.
No, we appreciate it. I mean, partners like you guys have really helped us grow, because without that, I mean, it would be very hard to grow. We don't have the marketing budget that some of these other huge companies have, where they're spending tens of thousands of dollars a day on Facebook, social media
Yep.
advertising. We're growing with retailers and supporting them, but in turn, we're actually educating the customer better, because then they can come into retail stores and really get educated on the products, know what they're taking, instead of just going online, clicking a button, getting a product, and them not necessarily getting results or knowing how to take the product. So we want to do things the right way, That way customers are getting results with the products.
Absolutely. Gotcha. So just to kind of reiterate, your sole purpose, more or less, for creating Alpha Supps was to make a brand of high quality ingredient formulations that were at good price points that retail's brick and mortar stores could then, hold to exclusivity and not have to compete with online brands being direct consumer, right?
Yes, exactly. I mean,
Okay. Awesome.
a lot of, so either companies go a different way. They either go to direct to consumer, or they try to do the exclusive retail model with watered down or low dose products where they can say,
Yep.
oh, look at our wholesale price, it's so cheap, or whatever. But then you look at the formulas and it's like, well, there's a reason why it. So if you look at our formulas, I mean, I like to consider them being pretty loaded formulas. And
I
then
agree.
in turn, we do offer great wholesale pricing as well for that reason. So we take the margin hit on our end. That way, our retailers can actually feel very comfortable and proud to push a brand that is high dosed, good margin for the store, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense, and I think that's a phenomenal approach to the supplement market and the supplement industry that most people don't go through. I guess most people do go the direct consumer route, using influencer based marketing tactics and things along those lines. I think the barrier to entry may be a little bit easier that way. It just kind of depends, I guess. You may not have to carry as much upfront SKUs, as many upfront units because you're not selling to multiple stores. You're just selling directly to the consumer. So I guess that's kind of an upside to it, but it's very honorable that you guys are looking out for the stores, for sure. So definitely
Yeah,
appreciate that.
we're trying. We're doing our part one day at a time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So diving into segueing into the formulation side of things, because like I said, that's what I really want to get into today. As a brand owner, in formulating individual products, what is the first thing that you look for whenever you're sourcing ingredients? What's the first thing that you look for whenever you're putting together formulations, especially in today's world with all the advancements in flavor technology, patented ingredients, and all of the science that's available behind what sports performance products do and how they work for us? Where do you start?
I mean, for me, I'm very passionate on this side of the business. I love doing the formula stuff, and people always ask me, "Oh, what kind of background do you have? Do you have a background in biology or whatever, this and that, or chem?" And I'm like, "No, I just love the ingredients, and I just
Right.
love the way like you can put stuff together and it makes you feel." So, I
Hmm.
mean, for me, that's like the passion behind it, but also too, I'm very active in the gym. Like I don't compete anymore, but I have two young kids. I coach their sports. I'm very active and I go to the gym every single day. I create products that I'm going to be happy taking. So if I'm going to
Yep.
be happy taking it, I know the customers will be happy taking it because
Right.
I obviously hold myself to a higher standard, what I want to take and stuff. So I know putting in top quality ingredients. Even we use a lot of trademarked ingredients. If you look at our products, some of them have
Hmm.
5, 6 trademarked ingredients in there. Well,
Yep.
those ingredients aren't the cheapest to source and get in, which makes the pricing. But those are the ingredients that have the clinical studies, the actual science to back the product and do what they're supposed to do.
Right.
So I love piecing stuff together. It's kind of like a game. It's like, what can I throw together to make you feel the best?
Yeah.
Um, so that's on the formula side, but then even on flavoring, like we take big pride in flavoring our products. Like we'll go through 4 or 5 flavor testings before we'll say, hey, this is okay. This is good enough to go to the market.
Hmm.
Um, so we try to do everything the right way and we take our time with it. I mean, our
Yeah.
last product launch of our 3 newest products, which has been doing phenomenal,
Mhm.
it took us 8 months. I mean, we went
Wow.
through 4 or 5 flavor testings. We had to tweak a couple ingredients, just the way it was making people feel. I mean, so we were getting products in, sampling it, testing the flavor, and multiple steps go into releasing a product that people don't see on the front end. Like that's all behind scenes.
Right.
So launching a product isn't just like, oh, let me do a pre-workout. Oh, here we go. it's done in a few months. No, it takes time and coordinating stuff, planning. But it's fun. I love
Yeah.
that aspect of it. But yeah, I mean, I truly like finding the best ingredients to give people and customers a product that they're going to be happy taking and know they're getting results off of.
Yeah, absolutely makes a lot of sense, right? And I mean, I can personally attest to the flavoring side of things. Again, coming from the storefront, I have phenomenal feedback specifically on the 3 new products. The one, the pumpkin, the aminos that just came out. All of those, great feedback on flavoring. We're even sampling them in store to get immediate response, that kind of stuff. So definitely nailed the flavor profiles on those. Most people
Awesome.
are like, it literally tastes like I have a Jolly Rancher in my mouth for the watermelon one. So it's
Yeah.
on point. Yeah, on point. So did really well there. And I've always been a huge fan of the formulations. That's as a store owner. I'll have, of course, salespeople reach out to me, and I appreciate the hustle on all sides. So I don't knock it at all. And I encourage salespeople to reach out. But, I always, number one thing I say is like, hey, look, I'm going to save you your time. Just send me a supplements panel. Like, send me the supplements panel. Let me see the formulas. Let me see the information. And I'll decide if I want it on my shelf or not. You don't have to
Yeah.
try to sell me, because formulas are all I care about. And so, whenever I saw you guys and I brought y'all in, I first started with the Alpha Shred product just because it, as you know,
Yep.
it reminded me a lot of the Tone Gold. And I was like,
yeah.
man, we used to move a lot of Tone Gold. Ironically, now I understand why it looks so similar in formulation.
Yep.
But yeah, man, that was, bringing that product in specifically was a game changer. I mean, we can't keep it on the shelf, cannot keep it on the shelf. And so that formulation is so simple and basic, but it works and it does what it's supposed to do. And it's easy to explain on the retail side of things. And I think that's the other thing that y'all do really well with y'all's formulations is you don't try to overcomplicate them. You make them easy to understand, but also easy to explain on the retail side of things. Like if you have somebody that doesn't have the craziest in-depth supplement knowledge, somebody can still explain what your product is going to do and how it should feel to a customer that's buying it in the store. So that's also, I think, huge for actually getting the product to move. You can come up with these awesome formulations all day long, but if nobody can understand them and nobody can explain them, what good are they going to do, right? So I think that's something that you guys do really, really well over there at Alpha.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You hit it on the head. I mean, Alpha Shred is one of our best products, but it goes to the stores who do the best are the ones who really can explain it and tell people the benefits of it. I mean, obviously, if you just put that on the shelf, it's not a sexy pre-workout. It's not the latest greatest protein collaboration flavor. Like it just takes a little bit of education to the customer, but that one product is like 4 supplements in one. So if you're telling the customer all the benefits it's going to do for you, the health benefits it's going to do for you, but then saying like, hey, you don't have to buy this, and this. You can buy this one product. One, the customer feels appreciated because you're looking out for them, not trying to just push a whole bunch of products down their throat. They're going to get a good quality product that's going to get them results. And that's going to create loyalty with your customer base. So that's one of the things that we think about when formulating products and coming out with products is what's going to be best for retailers and customers. That's going to create customers retention and coming back to them and creating that loyalty.
Absolutely. No, that makes a lot of sense. So I mean, diving into the formulation aspect a little bit deeper, I guess, with the 3 new products that just came out, the one pre-workout, the pump-in non-stem pre-workout, and what is the essentials?
The Hydro 9.
Hydro 9.
Yep.
So with all 3 of those products, specifically the pre-workouts, I've noticed a recent trend in the industry, and you guys, of course, kind of followed on, creatine back in pre-workouts. So this is something that, went away for a while, towards the end of the 2010s, beginning of the 2015 eras. Creatine was pretty heavily villainized, and they stopped putting it in pre-workouts. But I remember when I first got started in fitness, it was in pre-workout almost always.
Yep.
Yeah. And now I'm seeing that trend coming back. So, heavier formulations, actual usable clinical dosage on most ingredients, and creatine back in the mix. And so I kind of wanted to get y'all's thought process behind, the reformulation on the new pre-workout and the pump and adding the creatine in to both of them and things like that.
Yeah, so when we formulated these, we really wanted to come up with products that were like the name of the pre-workout is the one. We wanted to come up with products that were all together. Like you didn't have to buy a lot of stuff. I mean, if you're someone like me, I'm sure someone like yourself, when you buy a pre-workout, you're always, oh, what can I add to it? Let me add a little bit of pump. Let me add a little bit of this. Let me add a little bit of this. And we're like, you're buying so many extra products to try to make the best pre-workout or try to come up with your own concoction, your own formula. And it's just like, no, let's give people a true product that does it all for them. Like this product has actually over the clinical dose of citrulline. The pure citrulline has the clinical dose of beta alanine, clinical dose of creatine monohydrate. I mean, it's just loaded from top to bottom. And then you add the trademarked ingredients in. Like you truly don't need to buy a whole bunch of other stuff. Like if a product like this doesn't get you going and doesn't give you the results in the gym, well, then you're not working out hard enough or something. Something's broken.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, this the same, like how you kind of said, like creatine kind of died off for a while. And I mean, maybe that's the one good thing you can say about COVID. We all went through the COVID phase where creatine became like the most coveted ingredient of all time.
After thing in sports. Yeah, it was crazy.
It was like gold. Like people treated it like gold. And people really started to now understand the benefits of creatine. I think when that happened, people kind of educated themselves a little bit more. Hey, what are the benefits of creatine? Oh, it just makes me retain some water and makes my muscles look a little bigger. No, there's a lot of health benefits to it. Memory, brain function, like the list goes on and on. I mean, there's so many studies out there what creatine does for you. So it's if you really are taking creatine the right way, like the whole misconception, oh, it's just going to make me look bloated and retain a lot of water and make me look fat. Well, no, it doesn't do that. Like if you're taking it the right way, you're drinking enough water, like you're not just going to be bloated. I'm sure you take creatine, I take creatine, like you just as long as you drink water and it's going to flush it, like you're not going to be bloated and stuff. So now that people kind of know, that's why I think it's becoming a lot more accepted in our industry that you can put creatine back in these products.
Yeah.
So we loaded it up in the one, and then the pumping, we wanted to, a lot of pump products on the market are kind of underdose pump products that are made to stack with pre-workouts. In which that's kind of why they were designed and stuff. And I get it.
I had a notification pop up.
No.
I had a notification noise pop up, so I was waiting for that to clear out. But yeah, no, you're going right where I wanted to go. So keep going.
No. So, I mean, a lot of people kind of underdose the pump products because, oh, the people are going to stack it with the pre and stuff. Well, we wanted to do something different. You can still stack this with the pre, like I personally do, but you don't have to. This is a true non-stim pump product that is fully loaded. Again, clinical doses of everything, citrulline.
Yeah.
It even adds in a little bit more beta alanine. So if you're not taking a pre-workout, you still get that benefit. The creatine. So you truly can take something like if you're wanting to cycle off of caffeine or whatever, you're still going to get a high quality product that's loaded and get a good workout, exercise, whatever, without the caffeine that you don't have to take a lot of extra stuff with.
Yeah, no, and I like that. And like you said, I mean, you nailed it on the head. That's one thing that I use often as a selling point in store is companies are getting really good at taking the consumer's money, and they formulate products nowadays to where, oh, hey, you know what? This is a 20-40 serving size, but guess what? There's only half a pump in this pre-workout, and it's actually a high stim. So you're going to have vasoconstriction from the high amounts of stimulants in here, and we're going to put just enough pump in there to prevent that from happening so you don't have a heart attack. But if you actually want a good pump, you got to buy this other pump that's another $50. And you know, whenever I saw y'all's formulations, I obviously, you know, caught on that obviously it was the one, you know, the one pre-workout. It was meant to be a standalone. But I wanted to, you know, also see what your thoughts were on, would you stack it? You know, would you keep it by itself? I guess it just kind of depends on how much the individual is looking for, of course, but y'all didn't formulate them to be stacked. Y'all formulated them to be standalones, but also maybe go together.
Correct. Like, I mean, for
Yeah.
me personally, I'm not a huge caffeine junkie type person. I like
Mhm.
around the 300 milligrams. So what I do 3/4 of a scoop of the one and then a full
Mhm.
scoop of the pumping.
Yep. Love
So
it.
it gets me a little less caffeine, but a lot more of the nitric oxide ingredients that I like personally.
Yep.
That's where I get the most benefit. So you can kind of play around with it like that to where you can get the benefits of both and not necessarily take a full scoop. But if you do something like that, it's still like once you do something like that, it just blows any other product out of the water. I mean,
Right.
if you take a scoop of each together, you're getting 14 grams of pure citrulline. Like there's not another product on the market that's even close. So,
No.
yes, if you're crazy and you want to go nuts in the gym, if you take them both together, it is insane.
Yeah.
But it's just personal preference. I mean, there's obviously entry level points. Some people can handle it, some people can't. And but we wanted to make products to where they are going to hit whether you take them by themselves or together.
Right. I love it. Thank you. So I guess diving in a little bit more to further formulations, branching outside of the basics, pre-workouts and all that fun stuff. What are some of the more fun products that I guess you had formulated here over the past few years? What are some of the ones that you had the most pull ingredients from, doing the research on, and coming with or finishing a product that now does well for you?
So honestly, one of our best products that I formulated was our T-Rise, our natural test booster. So that one has a ton of trademarked ingredients. It has the KSM 66. It's loaded from top to bottom. If you look at the ingredients, I think there's 15 plus ingredients in there, and they're not skimpy ingredients. Like we fully dosed everything. Um, so that's one product that I like. I like to take pride in because retail stores do very very well with it, and
Mhm.
the feedback we get on it is insane. Like I could share messages from people and stuff, maybe not the most appropriate messages at times.
I know what you
But
mean.
like it's actually really cool to get those kind of messages because there
Absolutely.
are all those misconceptions of, oh, a natural test booster doesn't work. It doesn't do this and that. But then we're getting feedback in text all the time or stores like, I can't keep it on my shelf. People are just coming in and restocking or messages from customers saying like, certain stuff like, oh, this is helping my libido like crazy and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Product has really really done well for us, but again it all goes to the formulation. It's loaded from top to bottom. I mean, we even put the basic ingredients like the vitamin D3. It has your dim in there, but Prima V, which is a great trademarked ingredient with a ton of clinical studies. I mean, like I said, it's just loaded from top to bottom, but that is one. If I had to pinpoint one product that's done extremely well for us, that we get great feedback on, it would have to be that one.
Heck yeah. I honestly, I love T-Rise. I love the formulation, but we move more of T-Rise specifically in the female population than anything. Like I recommend 1 to 2 capsules for females, and we get phenomenal feedback from it.
Yep.
I think that 1 to 2 capsule serving size, depending on what their goal is and what their lifestyles are like, um, is fantastic for females. And like you said, with the patented trademark Shilajit in there, I mean, it's a very very good formulation for sure.
Yeah.
I've also
No.
been, we haven't been moving it quite as much here recently, but I think it's honestly just because we haven't been stocking it as well, which is fault. But the sleep and lean, that one did really, really well for us, and that one samples extremely well. Out at our sample booths, like that, we get most of the time when we sample that one out, we'll have people bring it back to the store and be like, "Hey, can I buy this?"
Yeah. Yeah. Sleep lean is one. That is one you can take one sample and you're going to notice a difference. One, you're going to get
Hmm.
better sleep, but two, you're going to already feel the detox effect that it has.
Yep.
You're gonna wake up. I mean, you can also tell when you go to the bathroom, like it's getting stuff out of your body. Um, it's not obviously, and a lot of customers know that it's not a crazy just diuretic detox that just goes crazy on your body, but it does really do what it's supposed to do. But yeah, like you said, like you can just sample one dose of that. People are going to get better sleep. They're going to wake up feeling flatter stomach. And they notice it right away.
Absolutely. Yeah, we get phenomenal feedback from it every time. So I
Yeah.
absolutely love that product as well. Just and it's an easy stack with something like Alpha Shred too. You know, it's like you explain the benefits of it. I tell people to take 2 Alpha Shred in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. You know, I don't know what y'all's specific recommendations are, but then I tell them, you know, take the sleep lean before bed, and it's just gonna, you know, keep the thermogenic process going throughout the entire day, even while you're asleep. And so that really gets people, you know, excited.
Yeah, and like those two products that you just said, they're 100% natural, no caffeine,
Yep.
no. I mean, they're products that you can take daily and not
Yeah,
have any side effects, no problems with. I mean, and they're actually really going to help out your health, your everyday health. You're
absolutely.
going to feel better. You're not going to feel bloated, anything like that. So they are good products that you can take daily for the rest of your life and feel great.
And for I would say probably 98% or more of the demographic. I mean, they're very simple ingredients, like you said, natural ingredients that if your body doesn't utilize them, it'll just flush them out. It's not like something will be backed up or built up or anything like that. So I wouldn't. I mean, I don't see any ingredients in there that would have complications with medications, and so it's for most people. Those are great products.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What would you say is some of the biggest issues you faced, especially, you know, starting out in COVID? I would assume mostly supply chain issues there, but like what's some of the biggest issues you faced starting up a supplement brand, formulating products, sourcing ingredients? Go down that
Manufacturing.
road. Yep. Big one.
Manufacturing can be number one, two, and three.
Uh-huh.
Um, Man, it's a nightmare.
I bet.
Yeah, it's the the day in day out of that side of the business that I have to deal with that people don't see. I don't wish upon anybody. Um, yeah, it's a struggle because you're either waiting on products, your products are delayed, shipping is delayed, or ingredients missing, or it's on back order, a flavor is on back order. It's something new every day. Um, and then dealing with manufacturers that don't give you proper lead times or proper communication, because then they're like, oh, I'm going to ship your product this day. So then we all go, we tell our customers, hey, this is going to be back in stock this day. We get a lot of messages on that day. Hey, can I get this? It's not in stock yet. And it just makes us look bad, but it's not our fault, but it looks like our fault. And it's so that's probably the most frustrating thing in this industry for us, for
Yeah.
sure. Um,
And it's just a domino effect. I mean, it happens at every level. You know, it's this guy's like, oh, it's that guy's fault, but it really is. I mean, it's like you can't do anything about it. You know, it's like the manufacturers short the supply chain. The brand owners can't get their products out. The distributors get shorted. The stores get shorted. It's just like it trickles down. So
oh yeah,
totally understandable. Yeah.
yeah. So that's been one of the biggest struggles. I think the second would be for us as a brand where we are and kind of how how we are and stuff. Like we're still a growing brand. We're not crazy big by any means. We're not some of those big multi-million-dollar companies and stuff. So just really the education to store owners and stuff about our products. Like obviously people like you who've came from the same background as us, they get it. They get
Right.
our products, they get our dosing, and they get our aggressive wholesale pricing. Other store owners, they're like, well, this pre-workout's more popular and basically I don't have to do anything to sell it. Well, you're also not making as much margin on it, and that customer can then go online and buy it for cheaper the next time.
Yep.
So that's been a little bit of a hurdle getting over. I wouldn't say a little bit, a bigger hurdle,
Absolutely.
to really have store owners give us a chance and really see the quality. Just because we don't have a big name yet, we don't have the big million follower social media people on our team that's just pushing the influencers. So it's really just getting people to give us a chance. But
Absolutely.
then once they give us a chance, then I can show you 10 text messages I got today. Man, the new products are awesome. The flavor's awesome. the performance. These are going to kill it in our store. And it's like, I told you, like, just give it a chance. And
Absolutely.
I mean, that's been really, I would say, our only hurdle. I mean, because again, our products, our pricing speaks for itself, our loyalty, our protection. It's just getting over that hurdle of not being that huge brand with that huge social media following, um, to really give us that extra push.
Yeah, and I can imagine that that could be an interesting journey, I guess, for you guys. Because coming from a store owner, like I said, if somebody calls me and they try to sell me a product, I'm like, just send me the formulations. Like,
Yeah.
but I at least understand formulations. So, trying to educate I guess I'm saying is like not knocking any other store owners, but trying to educate a store owner about a product that they should put in their store has got to be one of the hardest things to do as a supplement company.
I mean, you know how much Shred sells.
Yep,
Shred
absolutely.
is a product made for everybody.
Absolutely.
Everybody, whether you're bulking, cutting,
Hmm.
whatever your goal is, or whether you're not working out at all,
Yep.
Shred is a great product. Heart healthy
Hmm.
product, cholesterol, blood pressure. The list goes on.
Hmm.
I've had store owners bring it in and they're like, "Oh, it's I can't, it won't sell." I'm like, just baffles me. I
Yep.
mean, just to know like the benefits people have gotten, even me starting out in a retail store, helping customers, recommending this exact same product and getting feedback from customers of how great they feel, how much it's helped them. And then hearing some store owners like, oh, it's been sitting there for 4 months. But it's just like, well, one, you're just probably not talking about it or you're not explaining it to the customer. And it's baffling at times, but it's just like, I mean, that's the game we're in. Like, we have to just continue to put our head down and just keep pushing, and eventually
Yeah.
it will catch on. But yeah, that's been like one of the hardest hurdle, I would say, from the business to business aspect outside of the manufacturing.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I can definitely understand it from the storefront perspective. So, because I'm hard headed. I mean, I really am. When it comes to trying to sell me supplements, I'm pretty hard headed. But if you have the right formulations, they'll sell themselves. So,
Yep.
that's what you guys obviously do pretty well. Um, Austin, what's the last thing on the board up there? All right. So I think you guys, if I'm not mistaken, have just kind of undergone obviously reformulations of the products, but also a little bit of a rebranding aspect as well, kind of with Alpha Supps. So touch a little bit
Correct.
on that. What initiated that? What does that look like for you guys? And what's it been like?
So this is kind of something we've wanted to do for a while, but obviously as the growth of the brand and stuff, it's hard to do a rebrand. Like it really is. Like this
Absolutely.
has
We're in
been
the middle of one right now. Yeah.
it's been a struggle and a headache because nothing ever goes as planned, as you probably know. Um, so we just really wanted to create a new look for the brand, something I guess you could say more cool, like edgy, to where it could be marketed better.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so a lot of our products, like we obviously people liked our packaging before and everything like that. We've never really had any complaints, but it just wasn't what we wanted, what we envisioned for the brand. So one, we really didn't like our logo after a few years. Like obviously, when you first come out with your logo, you're like, "Oh, this is the best thing ever." And then after a couple years, then you're trying to put it on T-shirts, you're trying to put it on different stuff, and it's like, okay, now this kind of sucks. But so we kind of came up with the new logo. We came up with this one, this style shirt, and the gold ones, and we actually got really great feedback. People loved it. So we're like, all right, let's switch it up a little bit. Um, but then we really wanted to do something different. The industry has kind of gone a little bit different way with labeling and stuff. I know a lot of companies are doing like the texturized labels and labels that really pop on their products. So that's something we wanted to do. And what we did with these three new products, we went with the higher quality label that has the raised finish on it. Even like the fruit for the flavoring is raised. So it makes it look really cool. Um, so that's kind of where we wanted to go. And then with kind of the logo and everything, it will give us a better marketing for basically to help in all aspects, marketing, but then it'll be better marketed for retailers as well.
Yeah. Better shelf presence. And all that fun stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at. We obviously just did the 3 new products. Slowly but surely, we're going to do the rest of the products and stuff. It's all just a timing thing. Obviously, because you're trying to sell, you don't want to run out of stuff. You don't want to create stock issues with retailers because they're still needing products. So, and then also too, you don't want to have half your products look one way and half look the other way, because then it makes your brand look sloppy. So it's a timing thing. So we're slowly working on it on the back end right now. We're kind of, our graphic designers and stuff are working on the other products, and then we'll slowly start to roll out the new look with the whole line.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. So y'all are going to rebrand all products eventually down the road.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, they'll just have the new logo, kind of a different look, more like the look of the 3 new products. So that way the brand looks more cohesive, kind of matches and stuff. That way it kind of doesn't look all over the place. So that's kind of the idea and the direction we're going.
Got it. I mean, I do love the new look, the new logos. They sit very well on the shelf. They have really good shelf presence. The blue is very eye-catching, pleasing at the same time, and gold accents. Like you said, the textured fruits and everything. It really draws your eyes in for sure. And it's the bigger can because it's a bigger serving, so it it takes up some shelf space. So it definitely draws your eye when you walk in and see it on the shelf.
Yep.
So definitely cool there. Anything else new coming up? That you want to potentially drop in the pipeline for rebranding? Any new formulations? Anything like that?
So right now, with the launch of these 3 new products, the formulating and stuff has kind of been on the back burner. I'm not gonna lie, we were launching products left and right. Like, we launched protein, we launched the 3 new products. I mean, we were dropping SKUs, and even retailers and other people were like, "How are you guys doing this so fast?" And I was like, "I don't really know, because it's very hard."
Yeah.
So this first quarter, like with the launch of these new products, one, because this launch has gone so well, these 3 new products have done extremely well. So our main focus is keeping up with that. And then with the protein really catching fire the last quarter of last year and continuing in this, main focus is just keeping stock of these highly sought after products right now, because we don't want to kind of revert back of getting a lot of momentum with these SKUs and then, oh, I'm out of stock. I can't fulfill this. And then I'm out of stock for multiple weeks at a time. So we want to make sure everything's in order as far as stocking and everything like that. So that way we don't have any of those issues. But towards the end of this first quarter, we'll probably go back to the drawing board, and then Q2, we might have some new stuff in the pipeline. There's some different ideas people have been asking for. Not like the craziest sexy products like pre-workout and stuff like that, but people have been asking for like carb powders, carb blockers, like GDA products, stuff like that. So that's all stuff that's kind of on the blueprint, the drawing board, that we will start working towards this year. So we will be dropping a lot more SKUs. I mean, we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going. We're going to have a lot more SKUs. It's just we're going a little bit slower right now to make sure everything is seamless with going into this year.
I totally get it. I mean, coming out the gate with 3 new products this year and everything like that it definitely sounds like it would be a lot. And I imagine with manufacturing processes, it adds a whole another level to it of complications. So
yes.
Have y'all experienced, just because I hear it a little bit, from different sides, both from distributors, from brand owners, and things like that. Have y'all experienced here recently any product shortages? Some people are having issues with protein again. I don't know. Have y'all experienced that at all?
Protein, I just got word. Prices might jump again. So yes, I am experiencing that right now.
Yep.
So yes, there is a shortage from what multiple manufacturers have told me. There is a shortage of protein. I guess the suppliers and stuff, or the production people are kind of slowing down production. So that's raising the cost. So I'm just the messenger. It's not my fault. It's not my fault if protein goes up.
Yep.
But what I've heard, it could be happening. I've heard there
Okay.
is an increase coming on protein, so we might run into that. Other than that, everything's been kind of smooth. I mean,
Nice.
really, the last issue I had was with manufacturing side was flavoring. A flavor was on back order, um, which it happens from time to time. But as far as anything drastic, other than the protein, which no one's going to like as it starts to creep back up. But it is what it is. We can't do nothing about it because
I don't know that it ever really creeped down much, but
it creeped down a little bit. And yeah, not for long. I mean, for
not for
what,
long.
6 months, 8 months? And now I'm getting word
Yeah.
that, oh, I can't get the protein at this price anymore. I'm like,
Mm,
yeah.
that's a lot of
I'm like,
fun. Yep.
now I'm going to eventually have to have the unwanted conversation with retailers and stuff, just like everybody's going to have to do and be like, hey,
Yep.
like this has to change a little bit because I
We'll
can't
just
just lose
we'll just
money.
cut up we'll cut up this clip and I'll send it to you and we'll make it nice and pretty and you can just send it to them. Every single one of your
Yeah.
buyers. Be like, hey, look, here's the explanation. Like,
Sorry, it's not my fault.
yep.
Blame everybody else. Like I'm just in between.
Oh man. Well, that's good to know. Like I said, I've been hearing it from multiple fronts, so I wanted to get your feedback on it because like I said, you're the first one that I've actually talked to that's manufacturing and formulating specifically for his own brand. So that's always awesome to hear from a retail side of things. But it's the way we are in today's society. It's the world we are in, and we're going into an election year. Apart from your political beliefs, it's about to be interesting.
Yep, things will get interesting over the next few months for
Yep.
sure. I'm
Heck
not
yeah.
a political guy.
I
I
try not to be. I try to keep my distance for sure, but I'm at least aware of what's about to happen.
oh yeah, I'm same here, but
Yep.
I stick to myself and I just
Uh-huh.
live life every day.
That's the one thing I always tell all my people around me. It's like if something happens tomorrow, let it happen tomorrow. It's like nothing's gonna stop today. So
Yep. I tell
that's
people I'm like whatever your political beliefs, whoever's elected, you're still going to wake up and do the exact same thing tomorrow. Like
yep. And until that doesn't happen, that's what you're gonna do. So
exactly. Like whoever becomes president or this or that, they're not going to solve all your problems. They're not going to come work for you. Just live your
yeah,
life and create a better life for you.
hopefully they'll lower the price of protein. But
Yeah. We're praying,
oh
fingers crossed.
man. Alrighty, brother. Well, I think that's going to be it for today. So, like I said, I really appreciate you coming on. I thought this was a phenomenal conversation. I love talking to you about your products, your brand. I can see that you're obviously truly passionate about it, and it excites me to see brands like Alpha that are out there formulating phenomenal products with great ingredients at great price points for retail stores. Because I do believe that retail stores are important, and they will continue to be more important as we go into a technology-based society. Human interaction is going to be huge. So big props to you guys. I appreciate you guys huge from the storefront side of things. And I'll give you the floor if you'd like to say anything else before we wrap it up.
No, I mean, thanks for having me on. I feel honored
Absolutely.
to be the first one. But yeah, I mean, thanks to people like you, retailers that kind of trust in us and believe in what we're trying to do. That's really what has been what's helped us grow. Um,
Absolutely.
without the support of people and kind of them giving us a chance and trusting in our products and our kind of mission, it would be a struggle. So I'm thankful for partners like you and other retailers that we have that really believe in that mission with us because like you said, I believe it too. There's always going to be a place for retail stores. Like we're basically the front line of educating people. Like
Yep.
people always are going to want to be educated on what to take and they're going to need that. So um, yeah, I mean, I'm just grateful for everything that we've been able to accomplish, but it wouldn't be possible without the support of everybody like you guys and everybody else.
Absolutely. Heck yeah, brother. Well, again, thank you for coming on. And that's all we got for today.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Yes,
Thanks, man.
sir.